This album contains a song called Where Rivers Sing Lullabies to the Stars. Why would you not want to listen to that? So here's the thing, this year has been particularly good when it comes to metal music. We have had an absolute deluge of albums being released and everybody has just been outdoing themselves. I don't know if it's the C-word virus that caused this, but yeah, it's been amazing. So I've already made a part 1 of the best metal albums of the year 2024. This is part 2. So if you haven't seen that, I will link it up here somewhere. Also, last time it was Sweden that really stood out as the country that was releasing the most albums. In this video, it's gonna be Germany. So normally what I do when I'm talking about metal is I break everything into 2 categories. There is the Cate Blanchett category, which is for either people who don't normally listen to metal, or people who've only just started listening to metal, or people who just like bands that don't scream and don't blast beat at them. Also, like, I know everyone hated the movie Borderlands, but can we just take a moment to appreciate the fight scene where Cate Blanchett was fighting to the tune of Ace of Spades by Motorhead? Like, can we collectively agree that that is amazing? So the second category is the Margot Robbie category for more seasoned metalheads, where the death metal and black metal bands reside. I didn't do this in the last video because I felt that a lot of bands were somewhere in between the 2 categories. Like, there was only one album that really stood out to me as a Cate Blanchett album, and only one album that kind of stood out as really extreme black metal. Everything else was kind of in the middle somewhere. But without further ado, let us get into this. The first band is Breaking from the Fold by Triddana, which is an Argentinian band that sounds more Scottish than Scotland. They have Highland bagpipes, which is something I would like everyone to just normalise. This album is angry. It is about how over-industrialization is killing humanity and enslaving it, how we need to free ourselves from it in a more positive way, the need for transparency amongst leaders, and teaching history transparently without a veil of lies. And this is one of the reasons why I really love bands like this, because they are not afraid to talk of serious topics like mental health, like the state of humanity. And they do it through the most brilliant poetry, in what is often their second language. So this album is angry, but it's also pretty hopeful. It's a very easy band for beginners, with clear vocals and beautiful melodies. The guitars are a bit heavy, but that is just how I like it. Also, can we talk about this artwork? This is just so good. I do really, really enjoy this. This is one of my favourite album artworks for this video. My favourite songs on this album are Fading Days and Wasted Paradise. Next up is Finsterwacht by Saltatio Mortis. The Saltatio Mortis is a band I have been following pretty much since the very beginning of when I started listening to metal when I was about 14 years old. And this is just insane. So let me just open this up so that you can see what's going on. So this contains the new album. Obviously, there are all of these cards of all the members of the band. There is a novel by Bernhard Hennen and Torsten Weister. We like Bernhard Hennen here on this channel. He is the German modern day equivalent of Tolkien, and I really wish that more of his books were translated into either English or French, because my German is not that brilliant. And as if that wasn't enough, there is, if I can get this out, an entire roleplay game. Like, come on. I have two criticisms. First of all, there were no versions available in English, which I thought was very sad, because, like, I know Saltatio Mortis isn't that well known outside of Germany, but still, it would have been nice to have a few non-German editions of this. My other criticism is you couldn't just get the album on its own. You had to, like, order all of this. I don't know if that's changed in the meantime. There is a very beautiful video for the song Finsterwacht, which is the first song on the album, which also features Hans die Kirche from Blind Guardian, and it has a video that goes with it that I've talked about before in my Damsel video, which is like 11 minutes long. It's like a mini movie, and it's really good, so I really recommend that. I am not entirely clear on what Finsterwacht means, so if you speak German, please let me know in the comments. I think it means Dark Watch. I think so. I tried to Google it, and there are plenty of websites translating the lyrics, but not the title. So I think it means Dark Watch. I think so, but please tell me in the comments if that's not right. So this tells the story of a group of watchers in a medieval fantasy setting who guard against the forces of evil. They also seem to have collaborated with literally everyone. There's a song with Faun, there's a song with Hans die Kirche, as I said, there's a song with Peyton Parrish, who also collaborated with them for his song God of War, and Christina from Lacuna Coil. I also learnt something when going through this album, and like I said, I have been following this band for a very long time, and I don't know if I just haven't been paying attention. So here's the thing, this band, like Triddana, also use bagpipes. They have two bagpipers. And bagpipes always have very to-the-point names in every country. Like in English, bagpipe, it's a bag with pipes. Fine. In French, it's called a cornemuse, so a muse's horn. However, in Germany, a set of bagpipes is known as a dudelsack, which is just brilliant. And I would like everyone the world over to collectively agree that that is what bagpipes should be called from now on. That is at least what I am going to call them. Like, Germany has won on the naming this particular instrument competition. So the lyrics are mostly in German. They have two songs in English, including the one with Peyton Parrish. And there is also an English version of the song Feuer und Erz, which involves Eva from Brothers of Metal. My favourite songs on this album are Finsterwacht and Feuer und Erz. The next one is The Order of Fear by Orden Ogan, which is also from Germany. When I say that everybody has been outdoing themselves, this is what I mean. This is not normally a band that I buy albums from. Like, they do have some really good songs, like Gunman, for example, which also has a really good video, which I strongly recommend. But I never liked the albums enough to buy them until this came along. And that unfortunately means that I am not very well versed with the lore of this band. Yes, it's that type of band that has a lore that goes with it. That involves a character called Alistair Vale. And in this album, he has this to say about himself. My name is Alistair Vale. I am immortal. Centuries ago, I tried to do the right thing, but I was deceived and cursed. Now I have to wander the earth forevermore. I can't stay and I can't find rest. And all that I leave behind will decay and perish. And this is what the character looks like.
Just FYI.
Just to put this album in some kind of context, the lyrics are rather vague. This album is about regaining power and reunion and finding closure as we follow Alistair Vale's story. Apparently the album Vale has all the answers and explains Alistair's journey, so I need to go and learn about that. But despite all of this, my favourite songs on this album are Conquest and Prince of Sorrow. Gods of Metal by All for Metal. This band is mostly German. They have 2 Italian members. I have an unhealthy obsession with this band. In short, the past 15 years haven't been very kind to me. I had to give up a lot of the things that constituted my personality, including music. So I was still listening to a lot of bands that I loved, but I wasn't like going out there and trying to discover new bands like I used to do. But when I did, this was the first band that I discovered, so it's kind of special to me. I now own every single piece of merch that this band has ever produced, including 6 t-shirts. I also got the signed version of the album because yeah, I also went to the release party of this album, which took place on a boat in Hamburg Harbour and was a lot of fun. So the previous album was very Viking warrior oriented, kind of like Manowar, but with a more positive spin on it. In this album, the warriors go to the Far East after receiving a cry for help, but they still retain their Viking vibes, like with the song Thor and Loki and Valkyries in the Sky. Also, go and watch the video for Year of the Dragon because I helped pay for it. Wake Up the Wicked by Powerwolf, which is also from Germany. This band has a dark Christian theme with dark Christian concepts, historical events. For example, they have a song about Peter Strumpf, who was tried and executed for being a werewolf in 1589, and also a song about Joan of Arc. Their music involves a lot of organ music and church choirs just to give it that very Christian ambiance. I really recommend the video for Sinners of the Seven Seas. There's also a full show from Hellfest on YouTube, which again I strongly recommend. This is a very entertaining band live. My favourite songs on this album are Sinners of the Seven Seas and Joan of Arc. And this is where we are moving into the Margot Robbie category with the more extreme bands. And the first album in this category is Where Rain Descends in Twilight Hues by Voidharrower. This is a debut album from a Mexican band, and it is atmospheric black metal. I just want to say this, I have met so many metalheads who are just allergic to black metal, like they do not want to go anywhere near it. And I find that a shame because there are some gems out there. Like, you are really missing out on things if this is how you think about black metal. And my theory on this is that they have been introduced to black metal with the more extreme bands like true Norwegian black metal such as Mayhem, such as Transylvanian Hunger, which in my opinion is not the place to start with black metal. So they just have this notion that all black metal sounds like this, and it's not the case. I would recommend starting with atmospheric black metal. Bands like Saw, bands like Elderwind. What these bands do is capture something usually to do with nature and render it in musical form to create an atmosphere, hence the name atmospheric black metal. Saw has managed to capture the sound of mist. At least that's what I hear when I listen to Andy Marshall's music, is misty Scottish hills. Elderwind have managed to capture the sound of trees. I saw someone in their comments section saying that this is what trees would sound like if they could talk to each other. Sounds absolutely amazing. And this album was inspired by the forest, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, the forest of Mineral del Chico, Hidalgo. So that is what Voidharrower rendered into this music, the sounds of a rainforest. This album contains a song called Where Rivers Sing Lullabies to the Stars. Why would you not want to listen to that? I also recommend listening to these types of albums from beginning to end, because they can sound a bit daunting at the beginning, but they do include a lot of very melodic passages, even acoustic passages. This is music that really needs to be experienced. Just give it a go. My favourite songs on this album are all of them. I also want to thank Ghostic Records for allowing me to download this album for free. The next album is Draconian Darkness by Wolfheart. A lot of band names with wolf in it in this video. This is melodic death metal from Finland. I know I have really eclectic tastes. This album has several songs about Nordic winter and the beauty of it, but also the desolation that it brings. Then there are some songs about warriors and death, because yeah. My favourite songs on this album are Evenfall and Scions of the Flame, especially Evenfall. That song is amazing. It's about the sun's last rays before it disappears for Nordic winter. It's so beautiful. Again, why would you not want to listen to that? Time 2 by Wintersun is finally here after, what's it been, 16 years or something ridiculous? This album is so beautiful, and one of the things that really stands out about this band is that Jari Mäenpää's vocals are just filled with so much emotion, and that is something that is really rare. A lot of bands sing songs that are very emotional, but their voices don't convey that, but his voice really does. His songs and his vocal technique just makes me cry. He captures and conveys Nordic winter with so much beauty and energy imbued in the music and in the vocals. This is a work of passion. This truly is one of the best bands in the world, in my opinion, and Jari Mäenpää is a god of music in human form. My favourite songs on this album are One with the Shadows and Silver Leaves. Voidkind by Dvne with a V. I discovered this album when Bandcamp made a list of all the bands that inspired themselves from the literary universe of Frank Herbert's Dune on the occasion of the second movie being released. And obviously I was going to look up the black metal band. So this is a band from the UK. They have one French member. Discovering this band has been a joy, and binge listening to all their other albums has just been such a pleasure to me. My favourite songs on this album are Eleonora and Pleura, and all the other ones as well. And finally, Kinship by Iotunn. This is a band from Denmark, and basically what this is, if you take Primordial, Windir, Wintersun and Borknagar and stick them in a blender, this is what you get. Add to that another vocalist who is very good at putting emotion into his voice. He is not as good as Yari Mayenpa. I can't think of anyone who can top Yari Mayenpa. But this guy gives it a go. The first song, Kinship Elegiac, makes me cry. That song is about two brothers who drift apart. And I just want to show you this because this is the lyric sheet for it. 2 pages of very small print, again written in a second language. This is one of my favourite albums of the entire year so far, and it's also a new discovery. I only found out about this a couple of weeks ago. I haven't listened to their other albums yet, but I am very much looking forward to them. I especially recommend the songs Mistland and Twilight. Those are my 2 favourite songs. Also, can we talk about the artwork of this album, which is just glorious. I really hope that this band gets the recognition they deserve. Apparently they are going to play at Wacken Open Air in 2025, so hopefully they will attract a bigger audience. And that is it for this video. There is going to be a part 3 which will probably be out in January, I hope, and we already have some gems lined up for 2025, and I'm not going to wait half the year to talk about them next time. So yeah, on that note, thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comment section what your favourite album from 2024 was. Don't hesitate to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. My favourite songs on this album are Fading Days. My favourite songs on this album are Fading Days and